Hello, this is Zollith here with another 2B combo video. In this section I'll go over lethal hits. The move I'm going to start with is 4A, which is activated when you have 2 full soul gauges, and you can get a few different combos off of this. In terms of damage, the one that does more damage is a micro step into a 6-6 beard K. As you can see, I have to hold it slightly to make sure I actually land it. If I don't do it right, it can get ukemi'd. So personally, rather than bother with that, if I just want to go for damage without spending meter, I just do 1A. And that works at all ranges and can't be escaped from. What also works at pretty much any range as well is 6-6B, and that will ground your opponent into AGS pressure. And since I have meter, often I just like to go for a critical edge, although keep in mind it scales to 61 damage, I think. So I like to go for a soul attack instead. I like to press up into soul charge aerial leap B, which my opponent has to block and take 18% guard damage for. Or I can, depending on the distance, if it's close, I'll hold 4 to go into AGS pressure. If it's from slightly further away, but not too far away, I'll hold 6. I should be able to catch the opponent without going under. The spacing can be a bit precise though, so holding 4 is probably going to be the safer option. What is notable about this particular lethal hit is that it's probably her best wall combo starter, by far. But that's for another section. Next move I'll go over is lethal hits 6BB6. Yeah, if you're directly behind your opponent, and it's quite strict in some cases, like it won't work from just hitting them on the side. It has to be quite decidedly behind you, and I guess like a 45-degree cone. Then they'll go into a stun state like this. And there's some different things you can do with it. The simplest thing you can do is BA. If you want to get your opponent behind you, then you can do hold A B. And there are some tech traps regarding it. Like, depending on the character, full crouch beard K or just beard K will work. But there are some characters who can get out of both options, so if you're... And I don't know all of them personally, but I might try and find some resources regarding that. And when you launch your opponent behind you with AGS hold BK, you can go into a soul attack, and this is another transition where you can go into AGS BB. Your opponent can guard impact that particular transition though, because I suppose being hit from behind it corrects them, but it's still a very strong option, so don't give up on it. You can also go straight into critical edge as well, for a nice chunk of damage. Still a very scary option, and can in some cases do more damage than the combos you get off of this, so it is worth going for. The next move we will go over is lethal hit A and B. Of course, after a regular guard impact or a missed guard or reverse impact. So, what will universally work no matter what the range, unless it's just like right at the tip like that, is 4 hold B6 into AGS A and B. I think from that height, actually, you could even Let's try that again. Right, so that will work as well, because of the height at which you land the stun. The next move I'll go over is... the next combo, I mean. What will always work from a close hit is 4 hail B and 4 BB. It is possible to do this as well, but the timing can be a bit strict, so I like to just go straight for the 4 BB personally. And what should work against all characters as well is 4 hold AB, 4 AB, and 4 hold K, and that'll get you 4 AP for very similar damage. And next, for a close hit, I will also do this is another way to transition into a soul attack. If you hit it from further away though, obviously you'll get like the more tip range hit. So you can do back turn B and K into a combo end of your choice. 4-4K is probably the one you're going to go for most, of course. What you might not know is that there's actually 2 versions of her break attack. That is 0 on block, even though it's got really big range. But if you can hold it, and it's +4 on block. Obviously it's much slower. It's probably not that much different from unblockable in the sense that it's got long wind up. It's just not as obvious. But you can... the launch is even higher with this. But you have to do different combos because of the change in trajectory. So, what you can do after this is 4 hold A and B, 4 B, 6 into either AGS A and B or AGS B and A. And you can see the difference in damage there. On a close hit, you can also do 4 hold A and B, 4 B and A. Presumably you get the timing right, of course. And you can go into soul attack. You can even hold 6 after it too. Now, if you do it from close range, or further range, you have to change your combos again. Depending on the range, you may be able to land B and K, but you kind of have to eyeball where the AGS hold A and B lands. If it hits at tip range like that, you can follow it with a back turn B and K. Right, the next lethal hit I will go over is quite a handy one. Is 6-6 A slide hold K. It's a slightly confusing input, but doing that either if you don't hold K, you do a low, but if you hold K, you do a mid. They're both unsafe, but it's from a series that starts with an unseeable low, and it's a true like 50-50 between whether or not the low or the mid comes out. And if your opponent takes the first hit of this, hang on, then they can't guard impact afterwards. They have to make a guess. So it's a nice way to try and just chip your opponent out. Although you put yourself a little bit at risk, of course. But an interesting thing about 6-6 A slide hold K is that if the second hit whiffs and the third hit lands, you get a lethal hit. What I like to go for in this case is just a nice honest 9k, and it's a nice easy 4 AP from doing that. One particular trick about this, don't rely on it, but if you get the spacing absolutely pixel perfect, you can make the first hit land, but make the second hit still whiff. I'll see if I can demonstrate that here. It might depend on angle too. Right there. That was a true combo. But of course, that, as I say, don't rely on it, just be happy when it happens. Right. The next lethal hit I'll go over is a lethal hit for 6-6 BK. It's not something you'll see very often, but you get it by doing at least 3 dodges with Angler Beard K in a single match. This will be a good time to bring up the parry, so I'm just going to let's see. I'll select a move that that's relatively slow. Let's see. Let's do 1A. So I'm going to there's 2 variants of this. There's Beard K, which dodges high mid weapon attacks, and 2 Beard K, which dodges low mid or low weapon attacks. So with the right timing, I will go into a dodge and then a counter attack with a projectile. I can also hold press G again to either dodge another follow-up attack or just cancel the animation. So I'll do this 2 more times. Demonstrate you can cancel it as well. And then doing 3 of those, you activate the lethal hit for 6-6 Beard K. And then you can follow up with an I-18. I just go into the 6-6B. After landing that, I just do 6BB6 into like the usual combos you get off of a counter hit for that. Whereas normally it's just something that pushes back. And I will note that's one of her better wall splat attacks, but that's something we can go over another time. In a different video, which I've already made, I believe. And of course after those, you can do that for the ring out, or even press 6, which I think does it a little bit further. Or you can end it with 1A or 1B, depending on what you want to do at the end. Right. The next move I'm going to go over is 228. No, not 228. 22B. Now I've mentioned this before, and that you can get different combos off of a normal hit and a counter hit, but it also has a lethal condition as well, and that is whiffing an attack at a long range. So I'm going to do it with down K, because that's got a fairly long range, and if you hit at tip range, then it goes into a different stun state. Now, I like to do 2 different things depending on what I want to do. I can do AGS hold B into 9k, and that's a reliable way to get 4 AP. Or, I think for slightly more damage, I can do AGS KK into the combo window of my choice. What I will say though is that the spacing on that can be a bit finicky. So again, like with a 6-6A hold K, go for it if you want to and just hope it works. Much like a lot of things regarding 2B, unfortunately. Right, the next thing I'm going to go over is 66k. This is a fairly nice... It's just a nice boot to the face, but... You also get a lethal hit if you punish or interrupt a move that uses Soul Gauge. For whatever reason though, this doesn't apply to resist impact, which has been documented in the past, but I will show that off here too. So it doesn't work after that for some reason, which is really annoying. Hopefully that'll be fixed one day. But yeah, generally the combo you get off of that is, if I demonstrate it one more time.
Fire support.
It can be a whiff punish as well, so I just do 4-4, hold B6 into Aegis, A and B. If you're near a wall edge though, and I'll try and reset the position. Hang on, let's get this right. Then you're close enough to do 6 XP a K into wall combos, which is a nice touch. And you can ring out that way too. The next move I will go over is Aerial Leap A and B, the hold version. It only works if you have a 0% guard stamina. So I'll demonstrate some combos you can do with that. If you're close, you can do either jumping K, or you can do the 3 hold B series that I've mentioned before. As I say, you can do K to bring your opponent out, B for the most damage, or you can do hold AB to force your opponent to block, or even go for another lethal hit. But again, you need full guard stamina, so you're very rarely going to see that. From a distance though, you can get an even better combo in terms of damage, which is 4 hold B6 into Aegis AB for excellent damage. And that's it for her regular lethal hits. I will save her combos for that she gets off of having 9 AP in a different section. So enjoy. On to the next section.